6:15 in Douala. Thanks and welcome to the news with me, Henry Atimbe. We flag up with our top stories. Ahead of the publication of the final list of presidential hopefuls for the October 12 polls, Cameroonians are at crossroads to know who is who, with some hoping for their flag bearers to be retained by the Electoral Board. And after close to 16 years of political romance with the CPDM, Issa Chiroma Bakari is bent on a sweet revenge to take over power from come October 12, 2025. The elsewhere political bedfellow of the CPDM met the national and international media today to preach his vision of political transition. And Wabane subdivision weeps for development. The enclaved subdivision of the Libyalem stagnates as development is far-fetched, with tears rolling down the cheeks of its unsold or consoled elites. Top stories. Welcome to join me. I'm Henry Atimbe. You can hook up with us on our respective platforms on Canal International. And as the country holds its breath for the publication of the final list of presidential hopefuls for the October 12 presidential election, the country is at crossroads as Cameroonians want to know who is who on the final list that is going to be published by the Electoral Board. But some are hoping that their flag bearers should be retained by Elecam. Details with Sherifa Saleh.
As Cameroon awaits the publication of the official list of candidates for the October 12, 2025 presidential election come July 26, anticipation is mounting in the streets of Douala. Messages have emerged loud and clear, the call for change.
Cameroonians need a new breath, a real change. We want fresh air. We want something different, a change.
Il y a certains qui n'ont pas de logement. Il y a certains qui n'arrivent pas à manger, ne serait-ce que 2 fois par jour.
The publication by Elecam, the national electoral body, follows a record 82 candidacy submissions during the registration period that closed earlier this week. On the streets of Douala, citizens have expressed a mix of hope, concern, and expectation.
There are 7 leadership, people who will serve the nation selflessly, people who will be vision conscious, and of course, people who have the heart for the people.
Many echoed that sentiment, with youth groups and civil society leaders emphasizing the need for a generational shift in leadership.
I believe a woman can lead this country well because we women understand society's problems better.
Others voice a more regional expectation as Cameroon has long grappled with tensions between its Francophones majority and Anglophone minority.
For a peaceful transition, we need a candidate from the minority, someone who can bring agreement between the West and the East and all the regions. We need an Anglophone for a peaceful transition.
The official election date is set for October 12. Will the Cameroonians get the change they yearn for, or the candidates who embody their hopes will soon be known.
Well, thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh. And after 16 years of political romance with the CPDM, the former Minister of Employment and Vocational Training, Issa Chiroma Bakari, says he is now bent on a sweet revenge to take over power. The erstwhile minister has said that, of course, he's faced the national and international press today to unroll his vision of transition geared towards what he calls restructuring a failed political system. Hi, Cynthia.
A lengthy moment of exchange this Friday, July 25th, 2025, between Issa Chiroma Bakari and the national and the international media as he reaffirms his determination to run as candidate for the presidency after falling out with the Bia's government.
Yes, I was a minister, but I was never deaf to the suffering of the people. I refuse to be complicit in what no longer serves the public interest. My resignation was not a political calculation. It was an act of conscience. Let me say this to you with strength and conviction. We are candidate to win this presidential election, and we mean it.
The president of the Cameroon National Salvation Front insists that he is only aiming for a transitional mandate to redress drowning sectors of the economy.
A single transitional presidential term, preparing and transferring power to a new generation, forming a patriotic unity government with members from all sides, opposition, civil society, and diaspora.
Issa Chirima Bakari reiterates that his journey to transform Cameroon is placed on the mechanism of a federal state, with everyone involved in the drive.
Thanks very much, Hyacinthia. And the Union for Socialist Movement, or Union of Socialist Movement, UMS, political outfield has sharpened its electoral fangs ahead of the 2025 presidential polls. They met in the west region of the country to make sure they prepare themselves, of course, with those polling agents gaining skills on how to protect their votes. Ambo Gladys Diba.
The Union of Socialist Movement, UMS, has taken a decisive step towards electoral preparedness by training its grassroots activists on strategic communication in Bangu, a political stronghold in the Open Camp Division, West region of Cameroon. The training brought together hundreds of party members from across the country. Speaking during the session, the party's national president, Honorable Pierre Kwemo, underscored the importance of mastering communication, particularly on social media, adding that militants need to verify information before dissemination, while also countering disinformation that often thrives during election periods.
Communication is vital for any political party, especially in election year. That is why we organize this seminar to train our militants and officials.
Participants drawn from various regions expressed satisfaction with the training, noting that it provided practical tools for navigating the electoral environment with discipline and clarity.
Accessing certain areas is difficult without ICT skills. This training helped me to understand how to manage social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp. It's a great opportunity. We learned about the stakes of communication. Militants and party officials must relay this knowledge to the grassroots and push for widespread message dissemination.
The town of Bangu was deliberately chosen to host the strategic gathering, a symbolic move as the party intensifies its preparations ahead of presidential campaigns. Pierre Kwemo is one of the presidential hopefuls. UMS says it is determined to lead an informed, structured, and credible electoral campaign across the country.
Thanks very much, Ambo Gladys Dibank. And Babane subdivision in the Libya-Land division of the Southwest region is weeping for development. Then Cliff subdivision is stagnating when it comes to development. And of course, development is extremely far-fetched as tears are rolling down the cheeks of its elites who are yearning for change. Details with our Southwest Chief Correspondent, Ines Daniel Ondwambala.
Inhabitants of Wabane subdivision in Lebialem division of the southwest region of Cameroon have called on the government to improve roads network within the municipality, extend electricity supply, construct and equip infrastructures such as the district hospital, staff housing of the 10 integrated health centers, upgrading government technical college in Tamzan to government high school, and the appointment of sons and daughters of Wabane to top public and private offices. The people of Wabane municipality was speaking as Mayor Israel Nemboketu to all villages of the municipality to get first-hand information on the difficulties they face.
And to consolidate that peace, we need to be together as we have been, because we have gone through the crisis together. We have been at base, at grassroots with our people, and we know that our big people, like the president of permanent delegation, Honorable Fojo, Senator Von Leconde, they have always been on the ground with us, backing us and with the people. So it is not yet time for people to come and start doing campaign, making promises for what they cannot realize.
Israel Nemboketu, Mayor of Wabane, who doubles as CPDM section president, thanked the people of Wabane for their loyalty to state institutions and called on them to massively support President Paul Biya during the upcoming presidential elections. He told the people of Wabane to continue striving for peace, key for development. Israel Nemboketu encouraged the people of Wabane to remain firm in their decision to reject all perpetrators of chaos and prevent them from entering their various villages so as to create a conducive environment for development. Describing development as a joint venture, he called on Fordham and Village Development Association to become active, initiate meaningful projects and partners with the council for their realization. Israel Nemboketu called the population to ignore all false propaganda on social media that may ruin the trust, unity and peace Wabane people are struggling to consolidate for the building of their municipality. He encouraged the community to support each another. Israel Nemboketu, section president of Lebialem 3, Mayor of Wabane, appreciated the financial assistance from Minister Paul Tasson, Senator Fon Lekunze, Honorable Bernard Foju, Mr. Tanyi Jacob, Secretary General of Chamber of Agriculture, His Royal Highness Chief Fombele Matthias Tahem, Senior Divisional Officer, and Quincy Gilbert, Secretary General, Southwest Governor's Office.
Ines Odwabala reported there, and researchers, practitioners, and policymakers have been exchanging and sharing experiences on how to better identify key challenges when it comes to gender promotion in developing countries. This is the initiative of the Yaoundé 2 Gender and Development Research Laboratory, FAT Health in Yaoundé. Our correspondent at the Bonaventure reports.
Social protection encompasses a set of measures aimed at preventing and mitigating vulnerability as well as socio-economic and environmental risks, particularly those linked to poverty and deprivation. The International Conference on Gender and Social Protection aims to analyze issues, stakes and challenges in the promotion of social protection and gender equality in developing countries.
This is part of the discussion that needs to be taken. Every now and again, this is important for people to understand first what is social protection, and then how can social protection contribute to women empowerment, to women participation in the labor market, and also to the distribution and redistribution of household responsibilities, such as responsibilities of unpaid household work, for instance.
The two-day event is initiative of the Gender and Development Research Laboratory of the University of Yaoundé 2 in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund and the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family.
Coming on a university campus where research is carried out means that we are really thinking deep by hoping that we will come out through this colloquium that assembles participants, speakers from other countries will capitalize on the results to see if we can make a change.
Researchers, practitioners, and policymakers are exchanging and sharing experiences on how to better identify key challenges, share best practices, and formulate recommendations for a more inclusive and equitable social protection system.
Ate Bonaventure reporting the thanks Ate, and we meet Huri Amadou, who is telling us that the Ministry of Environment, Nature Protection and Sustainable Development has received what is known as the King's Message ahead of the Commonwealth Day. And of course, they're going to talk about the Commonwealth Games 2026. Huri Hamidou.
A delegation from the National Olympic and Sports Committee, led by their president, arrived at the Ministry of Environment, Nature Protection and Sustainable Development with a message from the King of the United Kingdom. This message is part of the King's Relay, a tradition that passes a message from one host to another, aims to foster unity among Commonwealth nations. This year, the focus of the relay is on environmental protection and sustainable development, aligning with the objectives of the Ministry of Environment.
This baton is carrying the message from the King of United Kingdom. He's the head of the Commonwealth of Nations. So this year, for the next game in 2026, we decided to launch a campaign for protecting the environment, mainly the sea and ocean.
According to the president of the National Olympic and Sport Committee, the government of Cameroon, through the Ministry of Environment, has been supporting this initiative.
And we are happy that the government of Cameroon, through the ministry, is supporting our ideas. We are complementary. We, as a private organization, sporting organization, we have some means, and the government also, they have their own means. If we bring all those means together.
The signing of the King's Relay marks a significant impact in Glasgow's journey towards hosting the Commonwealth Games. As Glasgow prepares to welcome athletes from around the world, the commitment to sustainability will remain at the forefront, ensuring that the Games are not only a celebration of sport, but also a win for environmental protection.
Huri Hamid reporting there, and we are meeting Sherifa Saleh, who is going to take us to the kitchen. And of course, as part of holiday activities to empower the young people during these holidays to make sure they grapple with the nitty-gritties of culinary art.
With schools closed for the long holidays, a growing number of youths in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, have turned to culinary training as a meaningful way to spend their break.
I'm here already for 1 month, and I've learned many things.
Training centers across the city of Douala are offering 1-month intensive programs in cooking and catering. At the end of the course, participants receive an attestation, a certificate they hope will open doors to employment opportunities, will serve as a foundation for future entrepreneurial ventures.
At the end of the training, we will offer them the attestation, who will allow them to have work in the restaurant and even hotel.
While some of the participants are still in school and view the training as a side skill, others are planning to pursue culinary work full-time. The program offers hand-on experience in meal preparation, hygiene practices, and food presentation, all aimed at making participants job-ready in a short time.
Je compte faire dans des événementiels en fait.
As Cameroon continues to grapple with high youth unemployment, such initiatives are increasingly seen as practical solutions that combine education, entrepreneurship, and self-reliance, all within a single school break.
Sherifa Sal reporting there. Thanks, Sherifa, for drawing the curtains on this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejan Henry and Timbe. We thank you for being there with us and wish you a wonderful weekend. Matthew Fango is coming up with the debrief, the actuality. Of course, he's going to tackle sports issues. From all of us, it's goodbye.